Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the March 2nd, 2022 meeting of the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District's Board of Trustees. If you'll please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Staying seated. I pledge allegiance to
Which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. The board did meet in closed session this evening, and we did take action in this evening's closed session. We took action and approved resolution 2122, number 17, to reassign a TTUSD administrator. And that's our report out from closed session. I pull the rest of the agenda up, excuse me. Okay. Are there any changes to this evening's agenda, Superintendent Geisels?
No, there are not, President Zurich.
Would someone like to move approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Member Levac?
Aye.
Member Hennessy?
Aye.
Member Driller?
Aye.
Clerk Larson?
Yes.
President Zurich?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we get our report from our Superintendent Chief Learning Officer.
Thank you, President Zurich. As all of you may have heard, on Monday, both Governor Newsom's office and the California Department of Public Health announced that based on the continued decline in our COVID cases, that we will be changing the school masking requirement. And they based this decision on a continued sharp decrease of cases, hospitalizations, and vaccination rates rising. So on Monday, March 14th, CDPH's masking guidance will transition from a requirement to strongly recommended. While the CDPH still recommends the use of masks in public settings involving groups of people, it will no longer be a requirement. So what this means for us, for TTUSD, we will continue to follow the guidelines for students and staff safety. Indoor masking rules will remain in effect throughout our district until the end of the day, Friday, March 11th. And then on Monday, March 14th, face mask will no longer be mandatory but recommended for our students and our staff. Therefore, on Monday, March 14th, the decision to wear a face mask on campus and in TTUS offices and departments will be optional and based on personal choice. We also received confirmation from CDPH today that school buses serving K-12 populations are considered a school setting. So accordingly, masking remains required till Friday, the 11th, after which time masking will be strongly recommended and therefore a personal choice. Of course, we will continue to provide safety measures in our schools and departments that protect our students from COVID-19, such as our MERV 13 filters, our air purifiers in our classrooms and offices, our hand washing stations, and when appropriate, social distancing. And we will also be able to provide masks upon request for our students and our staff. I know we have a really diverse population with different views and comfort levels and different health conditions. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank our students, our staff, and our parents for continuing to be respectful and honoring one another's choices regarding masking. We value every single member of our TTUS community, and it's so essential to us that everyone feels safe and secure in our district. So we're almost there. We are almost there. So I know I am looking forward to March 14th. And again, I ask that you honor the choices of your colleagues, of your students, of your staff. And now, without further ado, I would like to introduce Ms. Joanna Mitchell, Ms. Laura Delorier, and Ms. Ella Costello from North Tahoe High School. They will be making a presentation this evening regarding North Tahoe High School Ski Academy, which is just one of the amazing things going on at North Tahoe High. Ms. Mitchell?
Hi, thank you for having us tonight. Lupita was going to share our presentation.
I will go
on it. I will share.
Okay.
Okay. And we are going to, talk about our ski academy and this amazing experience that we had last month with our celebrating our Olympians. through an assembly and through the Beijing Olympics. So we will start when we can get that up and going. Are you having trouble, Lupita?
I'm sharing. Is it not?
It's just my email.
Oh, okay. Sorry. There we go.
Okay, and so can you go to present? Okay, yeah, I see. So we'll just, since you're running it, we'll just kind of say next to cue you. But we are going to start on February. Actually, I'm going to allow Ella who is one of our Ski Academy students, to introduce and talk about our Olympics assembly. Go ahead, Ella.
Hello. As Miss Mitchell said, I'm Ella Costello. I'm currently a junior at North Tahoe High School, and today I'm going to be talking about the success of our Ski Academy program. So recently we had an assembly where we had 5 alumni that were Olympians join us and basically talk about their experiences at North Tahoe and the success of their careers. Pictured left is Shannon Barkey. She was an Olympian and a former alumni, and on the right is a photo of our assembly. Okay, pictured on the left is our 4 Olympians. We had another one, but he was online because he lives in Park City. And on the right is Shannon Barkey's Olympic medal from the Vancouver Games. So first we have Bob Ormsby. He was North Tahoe High School class of 1981, and he competed at the 1988 Olympics. Funny story, he actually almost did not make the team because of an injury caused right before. He broke his leg, but within the last 2 weeks, he made the team, and he did the giant slalom race and the slalom race. Next, we have Bill Hudson. We actually have a student at our school. It's his son. It's McCoy Hudson. He is North Tahoe class of 1984. He competed at the 1988 Olympics along with Ormsby. He competed in downhill, Super G, and the Alpine combined. And he's also obviously an alumni of North Tahoe. Okay, next we have Marcus Sullivan. Funny enough, he was actually my coach last year for alpine ski racing. He was North Tahoe class of 1988. He competed at 4 Olympic Games, 2002 Salt Lake City, 2006 Torino, 2010 Vancouver, 2014 Sochi. And he competed in the downhill and Super G, so he's obviously a very big speed skier, stayed away from all the technical things. But he was also one of the presenters at our assembly. We had Scotty Barkey, who was the North Tahoe class of 2003. He was the alumni that was pictured online, but his sister attended. He competed at the 2010 Vancouver Olympics in the aerials. And that is Mr. Padilla and Miss Mitchell. Mr. Padilla had this idea that they should twin for the assembly day, but he unfortunately could not find U.S. Flag printed leggings to fully match, but they had the idea. They had a good idea. And then each of us got this poster, which is pictured, and we got signatures from all 4 of the Olympians that were present. It was really cool. Handed it out to all of the students who passed by, and they were able to go and speak to the alumni that came and see Shannon Barkey's medal. And then this past Olympics, we had two North Tahoe alumni who represented us. We had JC Schoonmaker, who was North Tahoe High School class of 2018. He competed in the skate sprint, classic 15K, and the team sprint. This was his first Olympics, and he's obviously a Nordic skier. And then our second Olympian representing North Tahoe was AJ Hurt. She graduated in 2019, and she competed in the women's slalom and the women's GS.
And now Laura Delorier is going to talk a little bit about our Independent Study Ski Academy.
Okay, so we try really hard to meet the needs of the kids like JC and AJ. The other guys were before my time, but we try to balance their athletics with their academics. And both JC and AJ managed to graduate with North Tahoe High School with straight A's, so I think they did an awesome job of that balance. We started in 2007 with just a little request from Johanna Montfort because her boys traveled a lot. And I think it was in 2013 or 14 or something like that, we decided that, or Ms. Mitchell decided it was a good idea to have a little bit more support for the kids. And that's when I came in. And we have grown from like a handful of kids back then to over 85 students right now. The kids enjoy flexibility with their schedule to be able to get out there and train. We do have study hall periods every day so that if they come back from a trip, they're able to get their tests proctored, or just a quiet place to catch up, or somebody to, I'm a super nagger to 85 kids. Sometimes they enjoy it, sometimes they run the other direction, but either way, we think it's been doing really well. Next. So there's a little bit about the growth, and hint, board. In 2007, we only have 5 to 10 skiers. I came on, and it was a 0.3 position. In 2016, we added it to a 0.6 with just 30 skiers, and now we are up to 83 skiers, and that's just the skiers because the academy also supports dancers. We have a couple of soccer players. We have some climbers and volleyball players. So folks that have outside commitment during school hours. It's not just for skiers. Next. Of course.
It's my turn.
What?
It's my turn.
Oh, sorry. Goodbye.
We practiced this today.
I know, and I forgot. I just got so excited about.
I know, you get excited.
They were my babies.
Do you want to? Okay. Do you want to do them? You can talk about
Ross Tester was actually one of our very first. He was with me the very first year that I started the ski academy, and his dad was like, "What should we do with Ross?" And I said, "Come over to the ski academy." And they never looked back. Their second son came along as well. But Ross was on the World Ski Tour last year, and he ended up in second place overall. Lily Bradley this year is on tour with the Big Mountain. She just won her first competition the other week. And now Miss Mitchell will take over.
And so our students have great successes outside of the Olympics as well. So some of our Big Mountain have competed on the World Freeride, and Ross actually won the Junior World Freeride Championships when he was still in high school. And then lots of our skiers go on to ski in college, and the skiing helps them with scholarships. They compete in NORAMs and more. So there's a lot of different ways that our students are successful through our ski academy. Just this year, Tavo Sideg actually won the Junior Freeride World Championships in snowboarding. We are extremely proud of him. And on the NIAA front, we had our Alpine men's team won the state championship, and our women's team took second place. Along with all of these accomplishments, we also know that skiing is a very dangerous sport. And as our Olympians made clear with a lot of the injuries that they sustained throughout their careers, Lupita, if you can go to the next, 2 weeks ago, we experienced the dangers of skiing all too personally when we lost Scotty Lapp in a ski accident. He was part of our ski academy and has had a lasting impact on our school. So the North Tahoe Ski Academy is just one of the amazing things going on at North Tahoe High School, and we were really happy to be able to share this bit of what's been going on at North Tahoe with you today.
Thank you, ladies. Very much appreciate that. I just have to say, and I'll ask other board members for comments, I've been proud of this program as a board member and as a parent, and what you all have provided our kids, skiers, and as Laura pointed out, but kids who have a lot of other interests that they pursue very intensely. And it makes me very proud that we have been able to look at our community and what makes up our community and provide them the opportunity to not only excel in their passion, but excel academically too. And these kids are going to amazing colleges, and you're right, obviously using this and what they've done as their extracurriculars, where the colleges look at them and go, oh my goodness, look at how they can manage their time and their activities, and we want them. So job well done. And I think that it's great that it's open to Truckee High students, Sierra High, anybody in the district who wants to go over to North Tahoe, and that really engenders those amazing friendships that we see. I see in the skiing community in our high schools that transcend the whole of our community.
Yeah,
So,
you should come to a high school ski race sometimes, and you'll really see how well North Tahoe and Truckee kids, they get along amazingly well at those races, don't you think, Ella? Everybody is cheering each other on. And
We all kind of just hang out together. Like we're like one big pack at the races.
yeah,
and of course, I see that in the free ride community too. It's just one big pack, and it's wonderful.
and it doesn't hurt to mention that AJ had a lot of other options. She had the ability to go to Salt Lake, and she desperately wanted to be at North Tahoe, where she grew up. It's and we were very, the Hertz are very happy that we were able to meet her extraordinary needs.
Yeah, I've seen kids who really want the local high school experience and how important that is to them to go to high school in their community. So congratulations, and you guys really did an amazing job supporting our scholars, so thank you. And being one, Ella, sorry. So other board comments or questions? I see, let's see, Dee Dee, your hand's up, and then Chris.
I just want to say thanks because I totally had firsthand experience with it. With both our kids for a bit. Tonight, I think, didn't finish, but Garrett was able to finish, and he ended up going to college on a skiing scholarship as well. But it is one of those things where I think Kim sort of nailed it in the sense of what do we have for our community and how do we support what we have? And we live in the mountains, and the kids are getting skiing every day or whatever. It's making them for me, it seems like they're in a better space to learn. So I'm so happy that we had Laura Vaughn move over from another place to start and support this venture.
Thank you, Dee Dee.
I'm very psyched.
Thanks, Dee Dee. Chris?
Laura, I just wanted to give you props because during the event where we had the Olympians come, I was in the audience and I watched AJ's video and she gave you props. So just, congratulations in making an impact on so many kids. And thank you for everything that you do. Your job isn't small by any means. And I wanted to piggyback that and ask you, because you just said, hint, hint, board. What is your vision? What are the needs? What are the opportunities?
Well, I think Mitchell and I have a meeting that we're setting up, and we're going to go over it, I think, next week. But just being athletic director and ski academy coordinator, both are arguably full-time jobs. I don't have a lot of free time. And so probably a little more FTEs towards ski academy would be nice. I have gone from 30 to 85. It's a bit of a jump. And it's a little bit like herding cats sometimes, right, Ella? They're off to their next thing. They forgot to make sure everything's in order before they take off for their next adventure. It's a little
part of the growth that we talked about. I do want to recognize the Ski Academy wouldn't have been able to develop as it has without the support of Coldstream independent study single subject courses. That has been amazing. And with the growth, our ability to provide the same level of care for students, like being able to be unscheduled 2 periods in order to train and being able to provide students with independent study options has decreased. So we are moving more towards kids being unscheduled 1 period, and that's limiting some training. And simply, Coldstream, in fact, 10 years ago, they could accommodate, nearly all of our students with independent study single subject contracts, and that is not the case anymore. So we really value their partnership in making this happen.
Thank you both for answering that question. I know you ladies will work it out in the best way possible for the athletes and, the other extracurriculars, but thank you for answering my questions. And good job, Ms. Delorier.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other board questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much. Thanks so much again, ladies, for your presentation.
Thank you, Joanna, Ms. Mitchell, Ms. Delorier, and thank you, Ella, very much for joining us this evening. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for letting me come.
Our pleasure.
Okay. Good night.
Good night. Next, we are going to move on to approving a resolution 16, for reduction of certificated positions for the 22-23 school year. Superintendent Geisels?
Yes, we are before you to talk about a reduction in services and to explain the details. Specifically, Ms. Sabatini, would you care to do that, please?
Absolutely. So these are 7.0 FTE, or 7 positions for instructional coaches. Currently, we have 4 of those positions filled. We are asking for the reduction of all 7 for the 22-23 school year. All of those 4 people who are currently in there will be in a teaching a position for the next year. So there's no layoff of any person.
Board questions? Public comment on this item?
There is no public comment.
Would someone like to make a motion on this resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
I'll second.
16, sorry.
Roll call.
Member Levac,
Aye.
Member Hennessy,
Aye.
Member Driller,
Aye.
Clerk Larson,
Yes.
President Zurich.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have our consent agenda. Superintendent Geisels, does staff wish to pull any items from the consent agenda?
No, we do not, President Zurich.
Would any board members like to pull any items from the consent agenda? Would someone like to move the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Member Levac,
Aye.
Member Hennessy,
Aye.
Member Driller,
Aye.
Clerk Larson,
Yes.
President Zurich.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we get to hear from our employee associations. And before they start, and I meant to say this after Superintendent Geisel spoke about the changing CDPH guidelines, I just want to appreciate our employee groups, all of our employees who have, well, worked so hard during COVID these last 2 years, 2 full years, touching 3 different school years, I believe, and for their continued cooperation and ideas and creativity as we make our way through the safety aspects of dealing with the pandemic. So thanks, you guys. I see other districts that it's not so smooth, and I'm just really appreciating how we've all been able to work together. So thank you. So Melissa, would you like to start us off for CSCA?
I sure will. How is everybody tonight? Happy to see everyone's faces. I'm Melissa Cruz, our CSEA president for this local chapter. First, I want to acknowledge some of the administrators in our district for being extremely accommodating and supportive when it comes to our classified members completing professional development and college courses. It's come to my attention that we have a lot of our classified staff that are still bettering themselves and taking courses and doing workshops, and the administrators have been really supportive of that, and supervisors. This shows tons of solidarity, and it's super encouraging to know how much we all as a collective want to make this district the best it can be. So that's the first thing I wanted to touch on. I don't have too much of an update tonight when it comes to anything specific, but I did want to share something on a funny note. I was in a meeting yesterday with one of my coworkers, and we're talking about how often we see changes in the unknown in COVID and all these protocols we have to go by. As many of you know, I work in early learning with infants and toddlers and young parents. So this was really kind of funny to me. And the more I thought about it, I thought I had to share. So we had to laugh when she said, COVID is like a huge baby, a big baby. And we're all a bunch of new parents. And the minute you think you got something down, it changes and possibly starts crying again. With all this, we had great input from all of our members in regards to the mask mandates and getting their take on the removal of them and how they felt. And so now, within the next couple of weeks, we're just going to have to wait for that next milestone, if you will, or might I say yucky diaper change, to see how our district handles lifting of the masks. And we'll definitely keep you posted on how it goes. But I thought it was funny and very appropriate for where I come from. So that's kind of where we're at. We'll keep you posted on how our members are feeling once this all happens and takes place. Otherwise, everybody have a great evening.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for bringing some very appropriate humor to us. That's a great analogy. And I believe we have Nick Fertitta from TTEA joining us. Nick?
Yeah, yes. Thank you. Thank you guys for the time tonight on tonight's agenda. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nick Fertitta. I'm the Vice President for TTEA. And we really, similar to Melissa, we don't have a lot to report tonight, so hopefully this will be kind of short and sweet. I guess first and foremost, we'd like to thank the district for the invitation to the district's committee on looking into affordable housing in Truckee. Todd had reached out to me And again, we want to kind of communicate the appreciation we have for that, willingness to include us in that discussion. We're currently recruiting a candidate to be a part of that, and hopefully, have that person in place before the first meeting. But we wanted to reiterate our appreciation for being included in that process. Really, our only other item, similar to Melissa, is kind of relates to the decision by California to lift the mask mandate, as well as TTUSD's communication regarding, what's going to be happening starting March 14th. We polled our members, and TTA will not be taking an official position in terms of the lifting of the mask or not. We had members on both sides, as probably is the same in society. Some people are in favor of it, other people are not. And so we thought, as a representative body, that it wouldn't be appropriate for us to take an official position on it. But again, when we kind of reached out to our members and got their temperature, we still wanted to take the opportunity to thank TTUSD for working with TTA over the last 2 years on various MOUs following the various MOUs, and for the district being willing to follow public health guidelines. We felt that was extremely important, and we wanted to definitely say thank you for that. We're confident that the district was always operating under the principal objective of what was best and safe for students as well as staff. And we would just like to echo that our appreciation on that. The last 2 years have taught us a lot, and perhaps in the future, we're going to look back and realize that we could have done something different, but you can only operate under the information you have at that particular moment in time. We also recognize that school board members as well as district officials are not scientists nor infectious disease officers, and that you rely on federal, state, and local public health guidelines in order to make the best decision for students, staff, and schools. As for March 14th, the day in which masking becomes optional, that day is going to look very different for a lot of different people. Students, parents, teachers, and staff have a decision to make about whether to mask up moving forward, given the current, obviously, metrics. We've urged our members to be respectful of the decisions that other people make, and to make sure that our classrooms are places where students, no matter what their choice is, do not feel singled out for their decision and feel that it's a safe place to come to school. March 14th will almost be 2 years to the date in which we closed down. I think it was March 13th. Oddly enough, or ironically enough, Friday the 13th, I think it was, when we decided to kind of shut down. And so, again, hard to imagine the 2 years. It's been a long 2 years. But no matter what your perspective is of mask, not vax, vax, not vax, I think we can all agree that we're looking forward to the end of these kind of challenging times. And so that's all we have to report tonight. Again, thank you for your efforts to keep schools and students safe. And that's all we have.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate your comments very much. Next, we have public comment, and this public comments for anything not on this evening's agenda. Do we have any public commenters this evening, Lupita?
We do not have any public comments that have tried to engage into the public meeting.
Okay.
So we do not have anyone asking for public comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'll close public comment. We'll move on to board business, and we have the appointment of our 2022 California School Board Association Delegate Assembly election. Superintendent Geisels.
So as you know, every single year, the board needs to vote on a delegate assembly election. So I have before you in item 13.1, if I can pull it up really fast. Sorry about that. They were mailed to the district and county offices of education. They meet twice a year. The board as a whole may vote for the number of vacancies in the regions or subregion. So regardless of the number of vacancies, each board may cast no more than one vote. So What staff is asking is to approve and vote for the official 2022 delegate assembly ballot, subregion 4-D, candidate number of vacancies 1. So,
And essentially, we have one candidate.
yes, we do.
That person is from Rockland Unified School District.
And her name is, I'm looking for her name right now.
Her name is Tiffany Sath.
Yes, Tiffany, yes. So the board needs to vote and approve that.
Do we want to have any discussion on this? It's interesting to me this year because there's some pretty significant differences in philosophies amongst boards, and Rockland being one that is probably different than this board's philosophy, at least in regards to the COVID situation. That's just an observation. Dee Dee?
I guess I was putting on my headphones, so I kind of missed the second, but are we required to vote for this, or can we say that we don't want to vote? We have an option?
We have the option to not vote.
You do have the option of not casting a vote for the candidate. Or delegate, I should say.
Okay.
And
so I guess in my mind, it's, is this a single issue vote, or is this CSBA over representing Placer County overall with CSBA? And I would say for me, we're not that unaligned in many other educational based philosophies. So I guess given that, I'll make the motion that we cast our vote for Tiffany Sathoff as the CSBA delegate for Placer County.
I'll second.
Do we have any?
Member Levack?
Wait. Do we have any public comment on this?
No, there's not public comment on this item.
Thank you. No worries. Any other board discussion? Chris?
Well, I feel like I didn't look up this candidate. So I feel like if we're going to vote, I would abstain from voting because I have absolutely zero idea. So that's just to let you guys know. I guess I could have said that during the voting, but yeah, I have no idea anything about this person. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in the same position as well, that I looked at it but did not get a chance to do the research. So I'm going to abstain as well.
Okay. So roll call, Lupita.
Member Levack?
Aye.
Member Hennessy?
Abstain.
Member Driller?
Abstain.
Clerk Larson?
Yes.
President Zurich?
Yes.
Thank you.
So that passes 3 positives, 2 abstentions. Thank you very much. And so it's time for board reports. Let's see, Kirsten, you're first on my screen.
I don't have any comments this evening. Thank you.
Chris?
Same. I don't think I have anything to report. Yeah, thank you.
Dee Dee?
I get to report. I went on Tuesday to Tahoe Lake Elementary School and was able to help out in Mrs. Bai's TK class, which of course is my favorite, and spent most of the morning and then through lunch and recess. Of course, I got the upper playground with all the children, which was awesome. I mean, it definitely fun to be back in there, and they was great. Like they're so resilient, and it was great to see them all. And then I did stay for recess, and I did stay for lunch. It's just those guys do a whirlwind of lunch duty, like they're in and out. But I will tell you, there was a couple of the little ones that I sat with that actually were intrigued by the crispy kale. And they all tried it at my little table. So it was really good because none of them were like, I don't want to eat it. So it was really, really fun. And then I visited a couple of the other teachers just to say hi, and then left right when all the buses were coming. So I got to hang out with all the moms and dads in the parking lot, which was awesome, and it was great to see everybody again. And then I did do one Snowfest activity with our local kids that were musicians with one of our local celebrities, Jenny Charles, who Dead Winter Carpenters has taught a bunch of our students just musical instruments, and then they do performances. And so during Snowfest, they do a performance. And it was 3 years ago that I got to see the last one. But did get to see some of my nursery school kids now that are playing and singing, which was awesome, awesome, awesome. It was really fun. So that was my 2 outings. Yeah, it was good.
Great. Thanks, Dee Dee. Chris, I see you, but Galen?
Yes, I was contacted by a teacher who asked me if I would participate in one of her classroom assignments. And the assignment was on writing. And this particular assignment, in order to give it some motivation, was let's pick a topic that we would like to campaign for or against, either way you'd like to do it, and let's send it to somebody who could make a difference, supposedly. And in this case, it was elected officials that they wanted to send it to. And the email, it was an exercise to write an email with paragraphs and how do you write a argument and references. It was a lot of instruction there. But they were super motivated by the opportunity to have somebody read it. And so I said, of course, I would do this. And it had to be, it turns out, a school board member, because they can't send emails, I think the teacher said, outside of the district. So it had to be inside. So I said, of course, not knowing that in the next 2 days, my mailbox was going to fill up with 43 emails. And so I read each of these, and these are 5th graders, and I was just so impressed with their organization, their arguments. They even embedded links in there to go to their references. Some of them did. It was just so cool. So I, in concert with the teacher, as about how I should respond, I responded to her and said, you can do whatever you want with this email, read it or forward it or whatever to the students. And she suggested I comment on their writing skills and how they organized the paragraphs. So I did that, and then I commented on the actual issue. In this case, it was wearing masks or not wearing masks. And I heard how they all felt about that. And I commented about that and then explained how a school board works in terms of this kind of thing, that we're really obligated by state law, county law, and the public health laws. And so I spent an inordinate amount of time crafting this reply because I wanted it to be just right, and it worked out. So I got to be involved in the classroom, and I got to read 43 well-written emails. And I'll do it again.
That sounds super cool. Thanks, Galen. Chris.
Thank you. I almost forgot. So I last weekend attended the Chucky Community Theater performance of The Lightning Thief. And I have to tell you, it's not just a fun show, but also there are, I believe the director told me, 7 local schools represented. These are middle school and high schoolers. You all have an opportunity to go again this weekend coming up. They have shows Friday, Saturday, and a matinee on Sunday. And then the following weekend, I wanted to promote that North Tahoe High School is hosting the Great Future Productions of the Boys and Girls Club, who puts on amazing plays, and they're doing the high school version of Chicago starting March 10th all the way through Sunday. So if you want to have some fun and make some time to go support some kids, there's an avenue for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Really appreciated. And I'm super excited. We've started getting planning emails for the housing ad hoc committee that you all appointed Galen and I to, and really excited to be working on that. And I think that's all I have. So thank you very much. We will adjourn to
Thanks, you
our
guys.
meeting, which is March 16th, 2022. So see you then. Thank you.
Thanks.